Dr. Victor Rafa, Gateway Rehab and Wellness Center, and today is posture, breathing, and headaches that you can use for at home to help. And just remember, if you're doing any of the exercises, you're feeling pain and discomfort, that means something more is going on, and that's a chance for you to let us know and come in and really get it thoroughly checked so that we don't have an ongoing problem. All right, so today, our world this year, as you know, has drastically changed. And what has happened is a lot of people are working from home. Kids are working from computers in their rooms. I know mine are right now. And they're on their phone more, they're on their computers more. And what that means is their posture has been suffering. So when we're on our phone from a side view here, a lot of us hold the phone here. Our neck is down, our shoulders are rolled forward. And over time, that becomes an issue because our head is held out in space and the muscles in the back become very tense, very tight, and that leads to tension headaches. It leads to improper breathing. So our first example of how this works is I would like, if you're able to, assume what we call a stress position, which is forward and head down, and try to take a deep breath. It's very hard. Your lungs can't expand in this position. So if you come up, shoulders back, head back, and breathe naturally, your lungs can actually move, okay? When you first breathe, your diaphragm muscle contracts, pulls down, and pulls air in. The secondary part are your accessory muscles, which are up here, which allow you to expand the lungs, and they should really only be used during activities, okay? When you need extra volume of air. What happens when you're in this forward position, these accessory muscles can't activate, they can't open the lungs. So when you go to exercise, you basically run out of oxygen really fast and you become tired much more quickly than you should. A lot of people will find themselves yawning a lot in the afternoon. A yawn is a body's reflex of, I need more oxygen, I'm not getting enough. So if you find that you yawn a lot, it's a good sign that your accessory muscles and your posture is off, okay? Our first fun little toy today, bowling ball. And we're not going bowling, but we're gonna use it as an example. If I sit here right now and hold this ball in this position, I have a curvature of my wrist. That curvature is exactly the same idea as my neck when I'm in an upright position. If my head goes forward, and the ball thus goes forward, it's very hard to hold this ball in space here when I've lost that curve. Right now, the muscles of my forearm are having to work very hard to sustain that motion. This is very easy. This is very difficult. Same thing with your head. When it's natural curve, it sits right on top and it hangs out in a sense. But when it's forward, all the muscles from your upper neck to your upper back have to hold it in space continually. And that's what leads to tension headaches. It leads to upper back pain, tight trap muscles. Now, take in account women, the weight of the chest sometimes, it pulls forward. So a woman often has to work harder on their posture than a guy does to strengthen the back, okay? So what are the concepts of it? So the first one, as the head goes forward, the shoulders roll, and we get that awkward posture. Okay. The second part that happens when the head goes forward, we don't want to always be looking down. So we find ourselves having to cock our head up at the last instant, and that causes tension of the upper back, and that's what a tension headache is. All right. So today I was going to just go through some easy ways to address these common factors of life. Now, ergonomic setup, that's something you can do at home, and you really should. It's very easy. There's a lot of information nowadays on ergonomic setups. You can find graphs, YouTube videos, all that. If you have direct questions, we'd be happy to go through it with you as well. But, good posture where you're not looking down at your monitor, you're looking forward. Arms aren't down in a way, they're at the proper position, and your feet aren't just hanging in space. So there's little things you can do, and it takes a little bit of time. But if you're, working from home right now, that can make the difference of chronic neck, upper back pain versus no headaches, no neck, no upper back pain. All right. So today I'm just going to go through three very simple exercises for you to help with these common conditions. The first one is basically just a stretch, okay? Hopefully you can see, I'm gonna move this back just a bit here for you guys. If you're sitting at your chair at home, all you need to do is either grab onto the bottom of the chair and sit up straight. What this is gonna do is gonna help to hold that shoulder down, or you can simply take your hand and sit on your hand, okay? Either one works. Sitting up tall, reach straight across the opposite ear, and you're gonna let the arm hang. You're not gonna pull at all. You don't wanna hurt these muscles. Your neck muscles are very, very small, so they can become injured quite easily. So you wanna stretch very soft, short amount of times and frequently. Versus if we're talking about the leg muscles, we're gonna stretch much more aggressively, much longer, because they're a much more dense, big fiber. So sit up straight, straight across, let the arm just hang, and you'll feel a stretch through the trapezius muscle on the side here. You're gonna hold for 10 seconds. That's all you need to do. After 10 seconds, slowly bring your neck back to neutral. The second one is I'm gonna bring my arm to a 45 degree. I'm gonna look at my elbow, reach way back, and again, let the arm hang. This one you should feel very high up in the neck. That's a good release for the tension headaches. So you're gonna repeat this on both sides. To the side, 10 seconds. And at 45 degrees, looking at your elbow for another 10 seconds. This type of stretching, because it's short, wants to be done frequently. So doing it 2, 3, even 4 times a day is ideal, especially if you're suffering from chronic neck pain and upper back pain. You got to give these fibers time to stretch. All right. The second one I'm going to show is we're going to use a PVC pipe from like a sprinkler system. At home, you can use PVC if you have in the garage. You can use a broomstick or any straight rod. Let me grab that for you. Okay. All right. So here I have a PVC stick. This is about 5.5 feet tall. And all you're going to do is hold on a wide position, keeping your elbows as straight as possible. You're going to come straight over your back and straight behind your. Nice and slow. It opens up the shoulders and it's going to help to bring the shoulder blades back. Straight over, straight back. And what I would like you to work on is after 5 repetitions, come in about 1/4 inch on each hand and continue. 5 more, come in 1/4 inch. You'll get to a point when you get closer that as you come forward, you won't be able to go back anymore. So that's your stopping point. And then just work your way back out, 5 repetitions of each position to open up that shoulder girdle. It'll open up your pecs and it'll help the shoulders to come back. Okay. So first one we have is the neck stretches, very simple. Second is the PVC. If you look in the little chat box, I do have a video link. We call it shoulder mobility. It's using this PVC. You'll see some additional videos using the same PVC piping for different things, but this is a good one to start for the upper back and the chronic neck pain. If you have shoulder issues, you'll find some other information there as well. Okay. Now let me put this away. Our next one is going to be a foam roll series. Okay, so I know a lot of people have these foam rolls collecting dust in their house. This is a 36-inch foam roll, 36 inches wide and 8 inches round. Pretty average size. And what we're going to do is we're going to do what we call a foam angel. There's a couple ways to do it. I'm going to show you 2 different methods. And again, this is to help open up the chest this way, which will help bring your shoulders back, which in turn brings your head upright to restore some curve back. You're going to lay it lengthwise, sitting on the bottom edge with your head resting on the top edge. Just like when you're a kid making snow angels, you're going to put your palms flat and come up over your head and back down very slow. And you're going to repeat this for 10 repetitions. If you find that as you're coming up, one of your arms lifts up at a certain area, that tells you that that particular part is much more tight than the other area. So another way you can do it is just let your arms relax back down to the ground, hold that position for 10 seconds, and then like a clock, tick up about a hand's width, 10 seconds in each of these positions, and you're just going to make your way all the way up to the 12 o'clock, and then all the way back down to the 9 and 3 o'clock position. Okay, you just want to do that one up and down one rotation. And if you have a lot of tightness, ideally do this twice a day. But to help with general mobility, this is a good thing to do as a warm up or before you're going to exercise, or just to get the chest to open up a bit. Okay. The last thing I have for you guys today is going to be our lacrosse ball here. We're going to come back over here for a moment. Okay. If you've been to our office, you know that we use bands, lacrosse balls, PVC, foam roll quite often. And the reason we do that is because they're very accessible. They're relatively very inexpensive. So everybody can have them, and they don't take up a lot of room, especially the lacrosse ball. And that's one of the problems with having like a weight stack. A lot of people don't have the room to have all that things. And especially right now, a lot of gyms are just starting back opening. I know a lot of people are still nervous about going to a lot of gyms. So doing something at home is very beneficial. So the last one I want to show you is using the lacrosse ball. A lacrosse ball is a hard rubber ball. It's harder than a racquetball, about the size of a tennis ball. And you can do a couple things for the front muscles. Now, going back to our side position, if our head is forward and down, these muscles in the front become very short and tight. And that helps to hold them there, which is what we are trying to avoid. So we're going to simply take the lacrosse ball, place it on the neck muscles. If you have what we call the grimace muscles, when you grimace, you get the muscles right through your neck. You're just going to lightly put some pressure and roll in a circular pattern up through that area. And you'll feel an area that might be more tight than others. For me, right here, I can feel there's a knot in the neck muscle. So I'll spend a little bit of time just lightly rolling it to help to reduce that tension in that muscle. And I'll do this all the way to the side of the neck. As you're doing this, you want to spend approximately 1 minute on each side, rolling through. And one thing you want to take note of is you have a lot of arteries here. You don't want to push and hold one position really hard because you can occlude that artery. That's why we just put a light pressure, and we're just rolling it through just to help loosen the muscle. The second part we're going to do with the lacrosse ball is a technique called tacking. Now the ball is rubber and it holds the skin really good. So if I take that ball, place it down by the clavicle, right above the bone right here on the skin, and slowly just rotate it downward just a little bit, it'll pull my muscle in my neck over. I'm going to hold that there, and then with my neck, I'm going to look up and away, and then relax. I'm going to retack it, turn it back and away. And you'll feel that stretch all the way through the jaw and a lot of people up into the ear. And that's going to help to open up the neck muscle so that it's not so tight, always pulling down on that area. Now, we have many other exercises using the lacrosse ball for the pec, for the thoracic spine, for the shoulder. It's a very useful tool. And like I said, we have a lot of videos on the YouTube channel, on our website that show this as well. But I hope that you guys are getting some, good information, some easy things to do to help with these chronic conditions that a lot of us are facing. Nowadays, when I started practice, it's hard to believe it's been close to 20 years now. But when I started practice, it was very rare to see a child come in with this posture. phones were really just coming out, and nowadays everybody's on their phone a lot, and that posture is becoming a problem. I'm seeing children 10, 11, 12 years old come in with posture that we wouldn't normally associate with somebody until they're in their 40s or 50s. And when it starts that young, it causes a lot of problems early on in life. And if they don't know how to take care of it, or if they never are taught, it becomes a lifelong issue. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So if you have children and you want them to get evaluated or checked, we can show them these type of things a lot. And if they start these things early, it's amazing how fast a child's body can change. As we get older, it takes a little more time, a little more effort, and unfortunately, our lives get more busy. So we have to make that time and put in that effort to make it happen. If you have an issue going on and you want to get it checked, you've done some of these things, or you think you're past these points, very sincere offer. If you have something you want to get checked, please feel free to reach out to us. Let us know that you were on one of our webinar videos, and we were going to offer a full initial evaluation. Or if you haven't been in a long time, you can do it as well, to come in, get thoroughly checked out by one of our chiropractors, one of our physical therapists, maybe our medical team. We have acupuncture, massage as well. But we'll do a full initial evaluation. X-rays would be included if needed. We have that on site, so that regardless if you have a worry about insurance or whatever is going on, it's something that you can actually use and get taken care of. So with that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.